Hello and welcome to the CX Files for May 2nd, 2024. My name is Mark Hillary and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia for the CXOutsourcers conference. Peter is busy hosting the conference, so I took a few moments to capture some thoughts from just a few of the delegates right here on the ground. All these conversations were recorded on Thursday, May 22nd on the sidelines of the CXOutsourcers conference event, so naturally you can expect some background noise. First up we have Stephen Loynd. Stephen is the founder and principal analyst at TrendzOwl, and he's based in Virginia, USA. Hey Steve, so look, you're just about to leave the CXO event. Just, what was the most interesting aspect, or, what did you take away from it?
I was just chatting with Leanne Rowland. She gave a great presentation, and I just told her, in fact, that it really resonated when the entire presentation, because she talked about exponential change, but when she went into the personal case study, it was a perfect example of the hero's journey, going down into a difficult situation and then finding creative solutions and persevering and all this stuff. But you could feel throughout the interest in the crowd. And that was a vivid example of the hero's journey and how case studies are so important, which was reflected in Peter's survey results, which I spoke on my panel yesterday about case studies or hero's journey is the number one thing that is the most kind of resonant, if you will, for a lot of these companies. So there's a direct example as I literally head out the door here of how cool the event has been. And then, of course, we had a blast last night. It's like getting together with old friends, but so many great conversations. And, it's when you're relaxed and you're moving around and creative that you start to have new ideas. So long answer to your question. It's been an amazing event. And that's just one example that I just literally had here. Yeah.
Next up is Rod Jones from Rod Jones Contact Center Consulting. Rod's based in Johannesburg, South Africa. And congratulations, Rod, for winning the Lifetime Achievement Award at this conference. Rod, it's great to see you, and we're just sort of closing down CXO. You got the Lifetime Achievement Award. Were you expecting that?
Nothing could have surprised me more. It was just a fantastic moment in my life, I think, yeah. So you could knock me down with a feather. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what have you sort of taken away? What was maybe like the main theme that you enjoyed or learned from this experience?
I think, being my first CX Outsourcers event, I saw, felt, and still do what people have been talking about, the camaraderie, the unity, the knowledge sharing, the opportunity sharing in this community of ours, a global community. So hopefully I'm going to take a lot of that back to SA and see if we can't implement something along the similar lines of knowledge sharing. There's so much knowledge and there's so much goodwill to share that knowledge. And of course we want to take all that into Africa, which is the next big frontier for me, which is forming and driving the Federation of BPO Associations of Africa. It's happening.
So there could be a similar sort of mindshare event in Africa then?
Well, having seen what Peter and Mark and Tracy have put together here, I'd love to talk to them about doing something similar. Maybe not, in fact, certainly not on the same scale, but down in Africa. The BPO breakaway bush breaks, something along those lines.
Now Yanique Grant. Yanique has her own podcast called Navigating the Customer Experience, and she's the Managing Director of Professional Training and Occupational Services Limited, PTOS. She's based in Kingston, Jamaica. Hey Yanique, we run the panel earlier together, and that was kind of focused on podcasting, but what else did you kind of get from this event? What's your sort of feedback, or what was your favorite sort of aspect of learning from this?
I like the synergy, the different presenters that were curated specifically for this event. I thought was very intentional and very thoughtful to the audience that, the Peter, Mark and Tracy put together. I thought that was really, really good. I was quite impressed with the practicality of Chris Gillen's presentation as it relates to AI and, practically what does it mean in terms of implementation, including all of the persons at the table, communicating with them from early, ensuring that you organize the data, it's structured properly so that the bot can read it and, just be able to navigate that experience. Because, the technology is here to help us. As I said in our panel discussion, the human interaction, I don't believe is ever going to be eliminated from the experience because people want to deal with people. And so I think if we can understand that AI is not here to replace us, it's really just here to help make our job easier.
Yeah.
So we can work smarter and not harder.
Yeah. All right, cool. Now Tyler Ashby, the COO of GigCX specialist tech platform, Only Agents. Tyler's based in Salt Lake City, Utah.
What have I learned? Maybe what I learned is something more personal to me because I don't like networking. I don't at all. And I learned how to approach people, I think, and collaborate with them. Honestly, that's an honest truth. The past year I've gone to a lot of events in my new role, and I've hated every single one. And I didn't hate this one. And I this morning I woke up looking forward to talk to new people. Mm-hmm. So I learned probably there is a way to network with co-workers in the industry that adds value to both people, selling, not selling, just connecting with ideas.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
I think that this is interesting because there's a lot of industry peers here, on which people normally go to conferences because they're hoping to sell stuff. Correct. You're trying to meet clients, but here everyone's kind of on the same side. So does that make it easier to kind of connect with people then?
It definitely does. There's a sense of a single goal. And so the conversations seem very easy. Here's what we do. What do you do? What are your pain points? What are you good at? And then if there's something there, it'll be figured out, but it'll be figured out for mutual benefit, not because you had a good pitch or something like that. Or you cornered the guy at the right time. It's no, you made a connection, you had a conversation, and then you found out value. So it's been really good. I think, I don't know, is it more an entrepreneurial spirit of the people that come to this conference? They're not the big, I don't know, it's because it's all of these countries that are startups or emerging markets, but it's definitely a different energy.
Finally, I talked to Neil Sturrock, the Global Customer Support Director at Wave Mobile Money. Neil's based in Newcastle, UK, although Wave mostly offers services in West Africa. Neil, so, we're sitting here actually just before you're about to go and do your presentation, and I think that's one of the final ones at the event. But what have you learned so far? What's been your sort of most important takeaway from it?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from the event this week has been AI. It's a hot topic of everywhere you go at the moment, LinkedIn, online, everyone's talking about AI. And I think this session has demystified it. It's not as well developed as we maybe first thought. And we know there's a lot of, miscommunication out there with this, kind of misunderstood.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, a lot of smoke and mirrors with that. So it was good to feel that actually everyone is almost in the same situation around AI. And there's a lot of fear, but there's a lot of optimism as well. But it's maybe not where we think it should be right now.
Yeah, cool. Thanks everybody for your views. I would have loved to have captured more, but it's difficult in a live conference environment to pull people away from whatever they're doing and to ask them to give an opinion into a microphone. Thank you to all the team at CXOutsourcers for hosting this event and getting all these people from across the world together here in Atlanta. Thank you all, and we will return next week with another regular episode of CX Files, including our friend Peter Ryan. Thanks for listening to the CX Files podcast. We really appreciate your feedback and suggestions. You can reach myself, Mark Hillary, or Peter Ryan via LinkedIn. Please also leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast provider, as that helps more people to find us. As always, we'd like to thank Chris Haig at Traction Media for the CX Files graphics. See you next week.